Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unlimited, DJI excludes US from triple-camera Mavic 4 Pro launch. UN blames Russia for the 298 fatality crash of MH17. Cyclotech's electric prototype takes maiden flight. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm your host, Talon. Let's get into today's stories. DJI excludes US from triple-camera Mavic 4 Pro launch. DJI's recent flagship drone announcement was slightly diminished by the decision to exclude US customers from the launch. Though the US and DJI have been on poor terms for years, many did not expect the drone manufacturer to willingly sacrifice such a large market. The DJI Mavic 4 Pro went live for customers in Canada, Mexico, and other nations on May 13th. However, due to President Trump's tariff policies and troubles clearing U.S. customs with drone imports, there's no telling when or if it will be available in the United States. While the company's statement was not confirmed or denied by U.S. lawmakers, there's no denying that Chinese drone manufacturers have been under more intense scrutiny. In April 2023, Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik introduced the Countering CCP Drones Act to get DJI a spot on an FCC-maintained list of companies that pose a risk to national security. Though it passed the House of Representatives with overwhelming bipartisan support, Congress left the bill out of the 2025 NDAA. For now, the only thing keeping it out of the U.S. market is itself. The drone's main camera is a 100MP Hasselblad sensor. It's supported by large CMOS dual telecameras and an infinity gimbal with 365 degrees of rotation. The Mavic 4 Pro also has a 51-minute maximum flight time. After the break, Boeing snags largest ever $200 billion order from Qatar.
I'm currently using the Hartzel Talon, by far the best aerobatic propeller ever come out.
I use the Trailblazer. It adds performance to the Super Decathlon and dependability, and it's rugged.
Hartzel's been an excellent partner for Whip Air, just in terms of your product support as well as keeping an eye on the market and developing new products that meet demand.
It's helping us all have better performing airplanes.
It's such a proud honor to fly behind that propeller.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. Boeing snags largest ever $200 billion order from Qatar. Qatar signed a record-setting agreement to purchase as many as 160 aircraft from Boeing during President Trump's visit to the country, part of his Middle East trip that has seen other significant trade deals announced. The agreement, the largest ever for Boeing, was signed in Doha by Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg and Qatar Airways CEO Bader Mohammed Al Mir. President Trump mentioned the deal is for 160 aircraft and worth over $200 billion. Sanders and AOC's astonishing oligarch fighting carbon footprint. The energy watchdog group Power the Future has compiled an estimate of the amount of carbon dioxide emitted by the chartered private jet used by Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders and New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez during their recent Fighting Oligarchy tour. Power the Future reported that a total of 62.15 metric tons of CO2 were emitted by the aircraft, reportedly a Bombardier Challenger. For comparison, the group said those emissions are equivalent to burning 62,600 pounds of coal or driving a gas-powered SUV 150,000 miles. Bell completes 6,000th aircraft at Mirabel Assembly Plant. Bell Textron Canada announced that the completion of two Subaru Bell 412 EPX helicopters marked the 6,000th commercial aircraft produced at its Commercial Delivery and Assembly Center in Mirabel, Quebec. The aircraft will be operated by the Quebec Police Force. The aircraft will be delivered to the Ministry of Transportation and Sustainable Mobility of Quebec, or MTQ. MTQ operates a fleet of aircraft through the Government Air Service, or SAG. Senate confirms Mink as 27th Air Force Secretary. The Senate has confirmed Dr. Troy Mink as the 27th Secretary of the Air Force. He brings decades of service in various military and civilian space intelligence roles to the new office. Mink began his military service with the U.S. Air Force in 1988 through South Dakota State University, ROTC. He worked as a KC-135 tanker navigator until 1993, when he switched to designing and evaluating ballistic missile test vehicles. His career focus quickly transitioned to space, leading him to manage several next-generation space development programs. That's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. UN blames Russia for the 298 fatality crash of MH17. More than a decade after the accident occurred, the UN's Aviation Council ruled that Russia was responsible for the deaths of all 298 passengers and crew on board Malaysian Airlines Flight 17. ICAO will decide how the nation can right its wrongs. On July 17, 2014, Malaysian Airlines Flight MH17 took off from Amsterdam with plans to land in Malaysia's capital city, Kuala Lumpur. It was en cruise over a rural area in eastern Ukraine when a surface-to-air missile shot it down, killing 298 passengers and crew. Eastern Ukraine had been in the middle of a heavily armed conflict between Ukrainian government forces and pro-Russian separatists at the time, posing a challenge as the investigation began. Malaysian authorities were unable to access the flight recorders until several days later, and victims weren't flown out for more than a week. Crash wreckage was finally recovered in November. Ukrainian authorities had reported downed military aircraft in the area just days before the crash, causing many to assume that the Russian separatists had misjudged the type and origin of the plane they hit. However, there were no formal convictions until November 2022, when 2 Russians and 1 Ukrainian man were sentenced to life imprisonment in absentia for murder. After these messages, Cyclotech's electric prototype takes Maiden flight.
Meet the first of a new generation of the M-Class family. The M700 Fury. An aircraft worthy of the name and indomitable force. The M700 Fury transcends traditional limits with more power, blistering performance, a finely appointed interior, and the luxury of what matters most. Time. Experience the Fury. Join the legacy.
The legendary BD 4-seat program is building an exciting future for those who want a rugged 4-seat family flyer with a proven history. The SureWings program produces a complete kit and builder assist program that gives you everything you need to be flying a BD 4CS in record time. For conventional kit builders, BD Aviation has parts, partial kits, and full kits for the 190-mile-per-hour BD 4C that has logged thousands of hours. Visit SureWings.com and BDAviation.com for more details.
Welcome back. Cyclotech's electric prototype takes Maiden flight. Australia-based company Cyclotech recently got its Blackbird electric vertical takeoff and landing demonstrator airborne for the first time, kicking off the aircraft's unmanned test campaign. This paves the way for the developer's full-scale project, the CruiseUp. Cyclotech began developing the Blackbird demonstrator just last year, officially launching the program in April 2024. The engineering teams hit the ground running and were able to create a complete airframe in 6 months, the E-drive in 4.5 months, battery modules and thermal management systems in 5 months, and all core systems in 6 months. They then jumped into extensive ground confirmation tests at a local GA airport. The company spent a total of 11 months bringing its vision to reality, and its hard work paid off when the Blackbird left the ground for the first time on March 27, 2025. It successfully completed an unmanned, remotely controlled hover before returning to the ground intact. The design aims to prove the company's cyclorotor technology. Inspired by boat propellers, these barrel-shaped rotors can change angle as they spin to move the aircraft in any direction without fully turning it. Blackbird uses 6 cyclorotors, with 4 mounted horizontally and 2 vertically for eVTOL capabilities. That's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.